Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on H360 Live. My name is Cortland Long, and joining me in the studio today is my colleague from H360, Dave Duplay. How are you, Dave?
Cortland, I couldn't be better.
What is that?
This weather is just phenomenal. I love the fall season, you know that.
Yes.
And we had just an awesome last couple of days out in California with Fran Drescher at her organization called Cancer Schmancer.
Yep. We had the opportunity to attend her conference. It was amazing.
It was amazing. And you know, people see Fran as this role in The Nanny. And it's kind of a goofy role, right?
It was a great show. I watched it when I was growing up.
It was a great show, right? Absolutely. But, you know, she is one of the most intelligent, well-spoken healthcare advocates I know. And she really knows her stuff, her numbers, and she's all about healing yourself from the inside out, which we heard about, and all about this, you know, kind of detoxifying your home and using natural cleaners and things of that nature. She really has a great message that she's out there talking about, and her organization, which happens to be a partner of H360, is doing some great work. So it was a real honor to be out there with her and her organization, and I learned a lot.
I did too, and you know, I can't wait to talk about it later on.
Yeah.
Well, joining us a little later in the show, we're going to have Nick Medley, and Nick is just an amazing man. He is over at Memorial Sloan Kettering, welcoming over 1,000 people through his doors, giving them tons of positive energy, hugs, hope, and inspiration. But before we bring this gentleman on, we have some fun, strange but true health tips.
We do have some strange but true health tips, and you know, we've kind of brought that back because these strange but true health tips have gotten a lot of positive feedback from our audience and our viewers. So, Cortland, this one is about surgery, depression, and anxiety. It seems like they do go hand in hand with each other, right? I have not been through too many major surgeries, but I would imagine if I had to go through one, my anxiety level would be up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I also haven't been through any major surgeries, but I've been through a couple minor ones. And getting surgery, whether it's major or minor, can of course be a very overwhelming scenario. It can lead to depression, you know, and the thing that's probably scariest is that you're leaving your body in the hands of someone else. You're totally giving over control. You're going under most likely general anesthesia. And this, you know, will frighten some people. So our first tip in this scenario is to fully trust your doctor. It's really important to prepare yourself for the surgery before, and you know, make sure you ask all these questions, learn about the surgery, about what's going to happen while you're under, what the recovery is going to be like, when, if it's a painful surgery, when do you expect the pain to be the worst? You know, be prepared with a full list of questions. You
know, Cortland, we talk about this all the time, and you hit the nail on the head here. Ask a lot of questions. Sometimes, you know, when you're diagnosed and you're preparing for surgery, though, it always helps to have an advocate with you, right? Somebody that's going to sit there and listen and be on your side to ask the questions that you may have forgotten to ask. Or, depending on the surgery, a lot of times, you know, you're not really assimilating what your healthcare team is really telling you. And so having that advocate sitting by your side, there for you, to support you, to ask questions, is critically important. I also like your point about dealing with pain and making sure that you understand, you know, when I wake up out of this surgery, am I going to be in pain? Because if you know the truth, I think it's easier sledding than if you're, you know, told, oh, it's not going to be a big deal when you come out of anesthesia, everything's going to be fine, and you find yourself in pain. I think that's a little tougher go.
Well, it is tough, but also, you know, I'm thinking about, I had my tonsils removed a couple of years ago, and my doctor said, you're going to wake up from surgery and you are going to feel fine, you're not going to feel like anything happened. 3 days from the surgery is when the pain is really going to hit, because that's when the healing is really going to start taking place, and when, you know, the scabs that form on the back of your throat will start to come off. So he's like, that's when the pain is going to happen. So the pain might not be immediate, it could be coming in the future.
But you were prepared.
I was prepared,
Yeah.
because I asked those questions.
Yeah.
Well, so our second tip, and you talking about advocates brings us into the second tip perfectly, and that's to surround yourself with honest friends. So when you bring friends around you that make you laugh and make you smile, you can watch comedies and other feel-good movies. Those are also going to help you with the healing process.
Yeah, I think it's not just laughing and watching the feel-good movies, but it's true honesty, right? I mean, having somebody there by your side that is thinking about this and being totally honest with you and what's happening is going to make your life a lot easier. So totally agree, having somebody there. Plus, you know, I mean, somebody that's going to be positive. It's all about positivity, right? We hear so many times of patients that go into the hospital, and those with the positive attitude seem to have a better outcome.
Right.
And so it's that having that friend around you or that family member that's going to reinforce the positive, I think is going to be key.
Yeah, positive and honest friend, you know, is going to know when to push you to get up, to get moving, like if you had a hip replacement surgery or a knee replacement. And, you know, an honest friend is also going to be able to help you if maybe you think you're having some complications. That honest friend isn't going to kind of let all those things just slide by and say, oh, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Well, so our third tip is to relax, meditate, and exercise before and after surgery. You can concentrate on one thing that you are enjoying in the moment. And, you know, this is a really great opportunity to journal or things like that.
Yeah, I could not agree more with this one. You know, meditation and self-reflection is really key to the whole healing process. And, you know, we lost a good friend to cancer not so long ago.
Right.
And his motto was that he every day looks for meaning, beauty, and joy in every day. And whether that's him walking in his backyard and seeing a beautiful flower and finding joy in that, or walking down the streets of New York and walking past a Subway where they're baking the fresh bread and that aroma, meaning, beauty, and joy in every day. And don't take any day for granted. You know, self-reflection is so, so important when you're dealing with health issues.
Yeah, the advice that he had to give was very profound.
It was really profound. I learned so much from him. We lost him, but, you know, he left a lot of good lessons.
He really did. Well, Dave, as you know, every week we send the interns out into the field to see what our New Yorkers think of our fun little health tips. So would you like to watch the video?
I would like nothing more.
All right, Matthew, would you roll the video?
How important do you think it is for you to trust your doctor before you go to surgery?
I do believe that you have to trust the doctor, and if you don't trust the doctor, you have to get a second opinion. And at least you need to know that the person giving you advice is the right person to give you advice.
Well, I think it's most important to trust the people because it's gonna be your life is in their hands. So I don't think people should go into surgery unless they completely trust their doctor.
I think it's very important. I think it's the most important thing. You need to know whether there's somebody who's done this before, and you need to feel like they care for you.
Do you think by surrounding yourself with positive people will help you to speed up your recovery?
I do believe that. I do believe that mental recovery is as important as the physical recovery, and both complement each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I myself, about 5 years ago, I had a heart surgery, and I spent 3 or 4 months recovering. It was supposed to be more, about like 6 months, and because my family was so supportive and so positive about it, I recovered much more faster than it would.
Definitely. Loneliness is like poison. So I think it's really important to be surrounded by a community who can help take care of you and kind of help encourage you, because I think the mind and the body and the heart are all connected, and you need people.
Do you think that patients should be more involved doing things such as meditation and relaxation exercises?
I do believe it helps. I don't say it's the cure in itself, but I do believe that it can help the recovery, yes.
I do yoga and exercises. Your body go into this I don't know, like positive vibe.
Yeah.
It just you just keep getting better. I don't know. I did get better faster. So I think, like, in my experience, it was really helpful.
Yeah, I think holistic medicine's important. People need doctors who are not just helping them heal their bodies, but are taking the whole person into account. And I think meditation's a great way to begin the process of healing. I think you need doctors who understand that, though, because most people aren't used to that.
Well, Cortland, what did you think of the video?
Well, I love that video. You know, everybody was very in tune with our tips. They all seemed to agree that you definitely need to trust your doctor, have those conversations before the surgery, make sure you really understand everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, and a couple of comments on second opinions, which we've talked about that on numerous times, on our show about, if you're confused or concerned, always get a second opinion, because a doctor a doctor who's worth their salt is going to welcome a second opinion.
Absolutely. And the underlying thread that's always in Healthy h360, that sense of positivity. They all agreed that having positive and honest friends around you after surgery was very important.
Absolutely. Well, our interns did not disappoint. The people in New York City did not disappoint. Great sound bites there from them. They're really in tune with their health care. Happy to really see that. Well, Cortland, now our favorite time of the show. Our guest is in the studio. It's Nick Medley. Nick, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get started, I just want to give you a little background on Nick. Well, Nick is at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He is bringing peace, hope, and joy to the healing process with love and encouragement to every cancer patient, their family, their caregiver that walks through that door, which, as Cortland mentioned, is over 1,000 a day. So he's spreading a lot of positivity there. Nick is also a cancer survivor himself. So when you talk about somebody that has walked a mile in somebody's shoes, he certainly has. He knows what these people are going through, and that really makes him special in his job at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. He is really about encouragement and finding hope. And Nick's motto is that, hey, if I can get through this, everyone can get through it. And with a positive attitude, everyone can get through it. So Nick, so good to have you here.
Thank you.
We have so much to talk to you about, because what you're doing at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center is nothing short of incredible. And the positivity that you spread when somebody walks through that door, whether it's the first time or the 50th time, is truly amazing. So we've got so much to talk to you about. Let's get started.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, again, thank you for coming in. The honor is all ours, honestly. Could you give our viewers a little bit of your background and tell them about your history?
Okay, well, I've been working at Memorial Sloan Kettering for 15 years. I'm a guest service rep there, and I just love what I do. It's all about the energy and what you spoke about earlier, and it's all about the caregiving for those who are less fortunate. And I just love what I do, and I do it from the spirit of the heart, and from day one, it's been a place where I felt that I belonged.
Yep.
We all have a purpose in life, and from day one, when I first walked in that door for my first interview, before I even got in the job, I just felt a sense of peace, of belonging, and I just couldn't figure that out. And it was almost like a deja vu, so to speak. And I didn't know where that road was going to lead me, but I knew that I was placed there for a reason. And I'm just so fortunate to be a part of the Sloan Kettering family and to be able to do what I'm there to do. And there's a whole team of people at Sloan, from the door attendants to the security guards to the drivers, the oncology doctors, the nurses, the housekeeper, building environmental services. We all play a key role in helping the healing process. And I'm just fortunate to be there to do what I'm there to do, and it's truly an honor and truly a gift to be able to help someone through a very difficult time in their families, because it's not easy for them.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah.
So Nick, remind me of your title again, because I think I have a new title for you, but I want to, what was your title again?
Guest Service Rep Concierge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to lay something on you. I'm going to have to call the president of Memorial Sloan Kettering to get this through HR. But what do you think about the vice president of first impressions? Because when somebody walks through that door for the first time, and they see you, you are the face of that organization. How they feel when they see you is going to set the stage for their time there at in that institution for that day. And so I think Vice President of First Impressions is a more appropriate title for you, because you've seemed to taken this job to the next level. And you know, how do you find that day in and day out, dealing with these individuals and staying positive yourself? What is it that's driving you? You know, every single person that walks through that door, I embrace them as if they were my own family. And I really and truly put my feet in their shoes. And it's just a thing where, you know, I can sense when they have fear. I can sense when they're nervous, whether they're coming in for the first time or the 50th time. And it's just something that I'm drawn to, you know, because I would want it done for me. And I know the importance of healing is energy and positive energy. And I would do it for anybody in my family. Why wouldn't I do it for anybody else, whether I know you or not? Yeah. Because the importance, they want and they need. And the importance of it is to show that someone really cares. Whether it's for a moment, a minute, an hour, or whatever. You know, they just need that support, and we're there to give them that support. Yeah, that's great.
Well, Nick, how are you able to develop such a strong connection with these patients? Is it the embrace? I mean, it seems so natural to you.
Well, you know, can I begin to tell you about a story about my grandma?
Of course.
Where it all began. God rest her soul. And when I was young, you know, a child, you know, we stayed with my mom was a single mom. She raised 3 boys. And for a while we lived with our grandparents. And I just love listening to my grandmom speak, because she was a woman of such wisdom, of such spirit, and just such energy, where she embraced any and all. And I remember one time we were sitting in my grandmom's kitchen, and I think she was peeling potatoes or whatever it was. And I was just sitting there at the table, and so she looked at me, and she came over to me, and she said, "I want to tell you something." And I sat there and I listened. She said, "You have a gift, and I don't think that you realize that." And I said, "Well, Grandma, what do you mean I have a gift?" She said, "Sweetheart, I've been watching you for 8 years. I was 8 years old at the time." She said, "I don't tell this to all my grandchildren. If I did, if they had it, I would tell them that. I don't tell this to just anybody. But you have a gift. And I see in your spirit." She used to call me her old spirit, because she used to see how I was just driven to people to love all and just to encourage those, even at that age. And I didn't even realize that I had it. And she said, "You may not understand it now, but one day you will understand it. And trust me when I tell you this." And that, I forgot about that. As I got older, I was just experiencing different things with different people. I was just drawn to people, you know, to help them through a hard time or give them advice or spirit or some kind of spiritual guidance. And it just felt right. It felt good. But I would have to say that a lot of it in who I am today came from my grandmother Pearl and my mom. I have 3 ladies in my life at this moment. One is no longer here, which is my grandmother. The 2 who are still here is my mom, who I love dearly. She raised 3 boys by herself. And my auntie Arlene, who I love to death. My auntie Arlene was my creative spirit, my creative motivator. My mom was sort of like she instilled the caretaking, the kindness and the love in us and how she brought us up. And my grandma, who instilled the spirit of wisdom, guidance through me. And I never, ever forgot it. And it was just a part of who I feel that God has put me here and why he has put me here. And they just lit that in me. And I've just used it ever since. And it's sincere because my mom said, if it ain't sincere, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly
that's
right.
true.
That's so true. And you know, behind every great man is a great woman, and you're fortunate enough to have 3 behind you.
Yeah.
You know, we have a very similar story. Your grandmother said, I've been watching you. My grandmother always used to say, I'm keeping my eye on you. A little different. But you know, Nick, so you have a journey of your own. You're a cancer survivor.
Yes.
Tell us about that. When were you diagnosed?
In 2004.
Okay.
I was, as a matter of fact, I was misdiagnosed at another healthcare facility. And I went to my primary care doctor because I was having problems experiencing breathing, swallowing. And so I went to him and he sent me to a head and neck specialist because he was affiliated with that particular hospital at the time. So I go there and he did the nasal scope and he discovered that I had nodules. The specialist discovered that I had nodules. They didn't biopsy me or anything like that. They didn't even tell me I had a goiter, which I discovered I had later on. So he just sent me home, told me to take an Advil and relax and it should gradually go down. So I went home and I was off work for about 2 days. So after that, I felt a little better. I came back to work and a nursing manager came through the door at Sloan Kettering, where I now work. And she joked with me and she said, how dare you take off? I need your good morning hellos, your encouragement to get me through my day. And I said I wasn't on vacation. I didn't take off because I wanted an R&R day. You know, I took off because I was a little under the weather. And she asked me if I was okay. And I just proceeded to tell her that, you know, I think I have something going on with my throat or whatnot. I didn't understand what it was. So she said, well, have you seen anybody? I said, yeah, my doctor sent me to head and neck specialist. And she said, well, what did they do? And I explained to her what they did. And she said, Nick, something doesn't sound right. She said, fortunately, I used to work at the main hospital here at Sloan Kettering for the head and neck specialist here. And if you would like, I could maybe try to get you in there for him to see you or check you out. And I said, I'll be very, very thankful or grateful to you for that if you can. She said, okay. She went upstairs. She made a phone call. She calls me. She said, Nick, when you leave work, you must go right uptown to the main hospital. He's willing to see you. He's very backed up. He's very busy, but he's willing to see you. I went. He checked me out without me explaining anything or him seeing any of my records from the previous place at another healthcare facility. He knew exactly what I had.
Yeah.
You know, and it discovered that I had stage 1 of thyroid and a mass goiter. So I was very fortunate that I saw that nursing manager that morning because if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be standing here speaking to you guys. I wouldn't probably be here.
Yeah.
You know, so actually, he saved my life. Memorial Sloan Kettering saved my life.
So when you talk about walking in somebody's shoes, you certainly have been there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
So
exactly.
you've kind of taken us through your inspiration, Grandma Pearl sharing with you that you have this gift, and you've been down the journey. So does that help your perspective, you know, when someone new comes in the door and you say you're just able to read them?
Yes,
all of that is...
You know, after doing this for 15 years, you know, I've really and truly, I can tell when you have fear without you even showing it. I can tell you when you're probably afraid or that you're nervous and that you may have a lot going on in your mind. I could just pick that up. And I'm just drawn to you for some reason because I know that you're going through a difficult period. And I know that you're experiencing something that it's a scary journey, it's a scary road. So I slowly but surely just go up and just give you the encouragement just to let you know that we're here. We're going to help you through it. We're going to get you through it, and it's all possible because there's hope in it all. And I've seen it. I've seen it. And a lot of times they will come in there with family or a friend or a caretaker, but you can still just see that fear in them. And it's just something that I'm drawn to, you know, and I know how far to take it. You know, I know what they need over a period of time. They get to know me. I get to know them. And it's just about an intuition of the energy, you know, because when you're open to that and you really and truly, you look at it, how would I want somebody to approach me coming into a healthcare facility or a hospital? How would I want to be made, you know, to feel, you know? We all want that attention that someone really cares. They don't want to walk in a facility and not made to feel as if you are there just as an assembly line or something like that. You know, you're there to be made to feel that look. There is hope. We're going to give you hope. And I embrace that with them and they embrace that back. But it's over a period of time, you know? But it's the importance of it. It really and truly makes such a big difference.
So Nick, you see everybody in age range from the old to the young and everyone in between. And you know what really fascinates me is to see some of these young children with cancer or with a condition, and they're so positive. They're these, and they know what's going on. But the positive energy, do you see that when a younger person walks through the door at your building and, you know, is there just a different level of energy in that situation?
Yes, I see that often. Believe it or not, I do see that often. And I think the reason being is that, you know, because they're so open to possibility.
Yeah.
They're so open to hope. You know, they're living life to the fullest. They're continuing to do the things that they're here to do, that they love to do. You know, I mean, not saying that it's easy always for them, but, you know, I always say that a part of the healing is the positive energy. To continue to do what you're here to do, continue to enjoy life. Those who love you and those who are around you. Continue to do the things that you love to do, whether it's fishing, singing, dancing, whatever, sports. Continue to do that, you know. And I feel that with someone who's much younger, you know, I think that they're just, not saying that someone older is not open to it, but, you know, they're so full of energy.
Yeah.
You know, that it's just that they just keep that and hold on to that. You know, and there are a lot of people who are much older that have that hold on to that. You know, but it's very easy to forget that when you're going through such of a life-threatening disease and battling the disease of cancer. So that's why I'm there to give you that hope, to remind you that you never lose it. You've always had it in you.
Yeah.
You got that fight.
Yeah. Well, you know, Nick, certainly other people recognize what you do for them and for everybody that walks through that door. And we have something that we'd like to present to you now. So, Cortland, if you'll do the honors.
Absolutely. If I can get it open here. So, Nick, we have this Our Human Spirit Award.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So you have
thank
been
you.
nominated for this from someone who obviously has passed through your doors at Memorial Sloan for all the wonderful inspirational work. And, you know, I
you.
think it's pretty rare that
Wow.
you encounter someone who is truly an angel among the humans. And
Thank you guys so much. And I accept this on behalf of the patients, their families, my co-workers, who are also a part of the healing process at Memorial Sloan Kettering. And I want to thank you from my heart. And I really appreciate this so much. Thank you. And I want to thank you both for doing the great work that you're doing and getting the messages of healing out there and connecting people with what you do and how you do it, and it's a great thing. And I just want to thank you from my heart.
Yeah, well, Nick, thank you.
Thank
and we'd
you.
love to have you back
Thank
on the
you,
show
Dave.
anytime. You're always
Thank
welcome
you,
here.
Courtney.
thank you.
Unfortunately, our show is about over. That's all we have time for today. So, Nick, thank you again for coming in. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And I'm going to come up and spend some time with you at work.
Please
and,
do.
Well, I'll
Please,
bring you
come
an
on
iced
down.
tea, and we'll
All right.
we'll spread positivity
I'm gonna
together.
welcome you, and he'll hug you also.
I am going to welcome that hug. Trust me. Well, thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.
I would like to thank the viewers for tuning in, and I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this all possible. Remember, all of our episodes can be viewed on demand at healthyo360.com, and our podcast can be viewed in the iTunes Store.
Well, we love social media. We are all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and we use the hashtag #RealStories. We'd appreciate it if you would do the same. On behalf of Dave Duplay, myself, and the entire Healthyo360 family, we thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.